Good morning to all of you watching this show we call The Sweat. I'm Emerson Lotzia. Just a 30-minute joyride this morning, talking NHL over-unders, Rams-Cowboys showdown picks, and we're price checking around the association. But first, I know what you're thinking. Where the hell is that co-host of yours who helps keep this show on the rails? That is a good question, and here is your answer.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jesse Cofield. I'm here with DraftKings at the Fantasy Football World Championships in the 305, aka Miami $2 million, the grand prize. Going to be handed out at the live final on Sunday. But until then, we got you covered on The Sweat, all DraftKings social media. We're going to show you what the qualifiers are doing up until Sunday. We got deep sea fishing. We got an Everglades excursion. We got horse racing at Gulfstream Park, lawn games. It's going to be crazy. Stay tuned to all DraftKings social media and The Sweat, and I'll take you guys on a little journey.
Well, now that we all feel much worse about where we are in life, allow me to introduce our NBA panel. DraftKings contributors Gary and Thorne and Greg Ehrenberg, along with DK Nation NBA editor Ben Zwyman. Good morning, everyone. Excellent.
Well, this really says what they think of you, Emerson, because they send Jesse down to Florida and they just leave you in the cold here. That easily could have been you who went there.
It's very true, but they were a little concerned with how much I would not have my shirt on when I was down there. You're welcome, everybody.
Fair.
Right, fair. All of you
negative.
like fair. Okay, guys, a 9-game slate on tap, so let's play a little bit of price check. Ben, since you were kind enough to wake up and join us today, I'll start with you. In the 10K range, we have a couple guys who are questionable, but let's live a little and assume everyone is playing. So who is your guy?
Yeah, I think you have to look at the bottom, and you guys know me. I love narrative, so I'm definitely going with Lebron James tonight in Miami. He's at 10K, which is a pretty good price. He's been on a tear lately, at least 54.25 DKFP in 3 straight games. He's been more aggressive on offense. He's actually been shooting the ball really well. He's 11 of 23 from long range in the past 3 games. So yeah, I'm ignoring the matchup here because obviously the Heat are kind of a tough draw. They play at a slow pace. They're a good defensive team. But yeah, I think this game should be competitive. So that should mean that LeBron is going to play upwards of 36 to 40 minutes. So yeah, whenever LeBron is in that kind of environment and his price is pretty affordable, I'm going to take advantage of that. So yeah, I think James is the way to go.
Okay, Gregory, talk to me.
So I don't really like any of them. If we look at the way this slate shakes out, I think there's going to be a whole lot of value in the mid-range, and that's kind of where I'm looking to build my lineups tonight. Like Ben said, not a good matchup for LeBron, which obviously carries over to Anthony Davis. Also, same team, also playing against the Heat. And then we have Giannis, who's questionable to play. Even if he plays, I think there's a pretty good chance the Bucks kind of limit his minutes a little bit, so we won't be full go. And then we have James Harden, really expensive, playing in Orlando. They have a top 10 defense. They play the second slowest pace in the league. So that's kind of an issue also. I don't like any of these guys.
Who do you like, Garion? Anyone?
Yeah, I'm sort of with Greg on this one, but I will say if I had to play one of these guys, it definitely is LeBron. I honestly forgot about the narrative when Ben brought it up. I mean, yeah, sure. Miami, cool. But like he said, the best part about this matchup, you don't have to look at it from the negative sense of Miami's a really good defensive team. Miami's really slow paced. Obviously, that stuff is important. But the bigger aspect of this is Miami is super competitive at home. This should be a game where LeBron has to max himself out. And the last 9 times he's played 35-plus minutes, he's averaging over 55 DraftKings points. So, maybe he's more of a cash game play than a GPP play because I'm not sure if he's going to get 75 points tonight. But I think LeBron's going to hit value.
All right, Greg, in the 8 or 9K range, take your pick.
So Donna Mitchell finally played well without Mike Conley last game. Overall, he has had a pretty big assist bump in the games that Conley's been out. Conley's still dealing with a hamstring injury. He's been ruled out for tonight. And then also Mitchell gets a really good matchup against the Warriors, who are one of the worst teams in the league defending guard. And they're also sitting Draymond Green, which figures to hurt their defense. So Donovan Mitchell, I think, has a really safe floor and pretty high upside tonight, plus matchup and increased usage and assist rate without Conley on the court.
Garion.
Yeah, it came down for Mitchell and Kawhi, and both, I guess, sort of carry that distinction where you could get a little worried about their minutes because both teams should blow out their opponents tonight. But the Timberwolves have just been horrendous defensively their last 5 games. They're allowing over 128 opponent points per 100 possessions. The Clippers run at that nice high pace. Give me Kawhi tonight at $9,000.
Gary, and you're Canadian. How was it watching Kawhi receive his ring the other night in Toronto?
I'm a Torontonian, so I can even get more specific.
Okay,
that was nice. I was glad to see him come back. Did I have $400 to go see the game? No, I did not. So I feel your pain on this Miami thing, Emerson.
What did you think, though, about him having the middle finger emoji engraved inside the ring?
It's amazing. It's incredible. Again, Kawhi is the Andy Kaufman of NBA players.
Right?
No one really understands what he's doing until you get about 5 days past it and you realize he might be the funniest person but doesn't really want anyone to know or doesn't really care if anyone knows. He's truly a fantastic figure.
I don't even know if he knows, though.
Yeah.
That's also possible.
I could see that being very possible. Ben, 8 or 9K range. Who is your guy? Do you also like Kawhi?
I don't mind Kawhi, but I'm actually going a little lower here, and I like Ben Simmons a lot at 8,200 against the Pelicans. We may see Joel Embiid rest on the second of a back-to-back. Plus, the Pelicans have just been awful on defense lately, and they play up in pace, which should help the Sixers a little bit. We know what Ben Simmons' ceiling is. It's a triple-double, and at this price, if he's going to hit something like that, then I really like him in tournaments. I think he's got a lot of upside. So, yeah, I would monitor to see if Embiid's going to sit. Plus, Al Horford was out last night against the Celtics, so the Sixers could be pretty shorthanded, which would leave the Pelicans a better chance to stay in the game. And the more competitive it is, the better I think Ben Simmons is off tonight. So, yeah, I like him in a little 8K range.
And Ben, in your room, your laundry detergent shares a safe space there with a bottle of liquor, it appears.
A bottle of alcohol. That's what kind of a living situation I'm in right now, man.
Hey, man.
Sounds like a good time, though.
You hang in there, buddy. First world problems, right?
It's like Ben likes to party, and that's
I do. My name is Ben, and I like to party.
You always smell good, too. I will give you that, Ben, whenever I see you in person.
What about that? I used to be Benny with the good hair. I got the good hair back, man.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Been a while.
Gary, and take us to the 6 or 7K range.
I think I'm going to go towards the top end of the 7K range here. It's a game we already talked about, but D'Angelo Russell should really just take every shot for the Warriors tonight. Utah, debate whether or not they're a good defense. I feel like they could be a good defense against a team this poor offensively in general, but they've definitely not been the defensive juggernaut that we saw the first 15 games of the season. And you just look at what's left here. It's not a large sample. It's only 117 possessions, but when Pascal, Draymond, and Steph have not been on the court this season, and D'Angelo Russell has, he's averaging 1.51 DraftKings points per minute, and he's got a 39.3% usage rate. So this could really be a night where he takes 30 shots, and I want a piece of that.
Ben, who do you want a piece of?
I want a piece of Buddy Hield. I don't really know why his price isn't going up at all. He's been one of the most consistent scorers since the end of November, really. He's got at least 21 points in 9 straight games, at least 23 points in 6 straight. He's drained at least 3 3-pointers in every game since November 24th. And I was talking the other night when the Knicks played the Trailblazers how Dame was going to get back to shooting. And the Knicks, are really struggling to defend the 3-point line. They're 29th. In opponent 3-point percentage this season. So, yeah, Hield's price isn't going up. I think the Kings are in a great spot tonight. And really, Hield's a great tournament play, I think. And even a cash game play. His price is down. So you're really going to you're going to see him get to value pretty easily, right? At that point, he needs to get like 35, 40 DraftKings points to really return value. And I think he can eclipse that against the Knicks.
Greg, do you like someone who is also a good cash and tournament play?
Yeah, so Jonas Valanciunas, the Grizzlies are kind of doing something weird tonight. They're playing in a back-to-back. They're resting the rookies, and they're playing the veterans. So we look at Valanciunas' numbers with Ja Morant off the court this year, and Morant is one of the guys resting tonight. Valanciunas scoring almost 50 DK points per 36 minutes also is a pretty big usage bump. He is a little bit more preferable if Giannis ends up sitting because that would weaken the Grizzlies' defense. But still, for the role that I expect Valanciunas to have tonight, he's probably going to be one of the higher upside and higher floor plays at the center position. And the other thing to consider also is that with Brandon Clark sitting, there's more minute security for
Ben, under 6K, need your help. Have at it.
So I'm also looking at the Grizzlies. I'm going way lower too. 3,900 DeAnthony Melton. We know Ja Moran is going to sit tonight. I think a lot of lineups will focus on Tyus Jones because he's starting, but he hasn't really been playing well. And plus, Jones is going to have to deal with Eric Bledsoe, which isn't a great defensive matchup. I don't think Giannis in or out really impacts DeAnthony Melton much. If anything, if Giannis plays, it helps him because Grayson Allen is also out. So really, there aren't a lot of people to soak up minutes at guard. So Melton's been playing better. If the Bucks blow them out, Melton probably plays a lot of garbage minutes too. I think he'll at least play 20 to 25 minutes in this game. So at 3,900, he's a decent tournament sort of salary saver, right? Because he's not going to have high ownership. I think more people will be on Jones. So yeah, I like Melton as a value play.
All right, Greg, who's your top salary saver?
So I'm going with Marquise Chris, and it really hurts my soul to say this, but we look at the Warriors front court. Draymond Green is out. Eric Pascal is doubtful. They just don't have anybody else to play minutes. And so even though the matchup is not necessarily ideal against the Jazz, maybe the game's a blowout, I don't know if it matters. Guys like Amari Spellman and Marquise Chris are probably going to have to play close to the entire game unless they get into foul trouble just because there's nobody else to soak up minutes.
Gare Bear, wrap us up.
I'm going to go with DJ Augustine. I just think he's a really good GPP play tonight. He's probably going to draw the start again with Fultz status up in the air. And it's the ideal matchup for a guard against the Rockets. You know what kind of game this could turn into. And he was so bad on Wednesday in that start. I just don't think anyone's going to have any exposure. The floor is cavernous, but I do think there's a lot of upside tonight. And if you're going to get him at low ownership on a 9-game slate, I really like that.
Basketball Bros, toodaloo. Chris Wassel is here to run through some NHL game totals right after this healthy dose of football and fried chicken. Big game Sunday night. Bills visiting the Steelers. Playoff implications are on the line in this one. This is the Sunday Night Showdown series presented by KFC. Emerson Lotzia, Reed T. Fowler here. Steelers trying to secure their spot in the playoffs with a wild card berth. Reed, the Bills are jockeying for position as well. Who was your Colonel's pick?
Really tough matchup. Good defenses here. I'm going Devin Singletary, running back for the Bills. The Steelers don't give up a ton for opposing running backs, but he's getting the touches. We've seen him get 16 total touches in 5 of the last 6 games. He has the lion's share in that backfield. It's no longer Frank Gore, Devin Singletary.
Give me another man you were putting into your lineup.
Yeah, another Buffalo Bill. Dawson Knox, a tight end. He doesn't get a ton of red zone targets. He only has a couple of touchdowns on this season. But the Steelers, again, a tough defense. They are allowing 7 touchdowns, or they have allowed 7 touchdowns total on the season to opposing tight ends. Again, he's getting a little bit more targets. He's a really talented tight end. It's going to be Dawson Knox.
That'll do it for this latest edition of the Sunday Night Series. KFC's beloved chicken and waffles are back, and now they've got a kick. Enjoy Nashville hot chicken and waffles if you're feeling spicy. Or, Reed, if you're not feeling spicy, how about the classic chicken and waffles? Order online or get them delivered at kfc.com. I am so hungry right now. Like, I am so ridiculously hungry. I'm on TV, Mom. Time to bring in our friendly neighborhood hockey analyst, Awesemo.com's Chris Wassel. Good morning, Chris. How do you do?
Good. I mean, let's get this rolling.
Okay, hey.
Shorter edition today.
All right, hey, you're the boss. I'll shut up. But I do need you to tell me if you're going to go over or under the following game totals and why. Just 2 games on the slate. So I have you give us your top DFS play in each game as well. Starting with Vegas at Dallas, over under 5.5. Where are you going?
I'm going under tonight simply because, look, we have two excellent goalies likely to start. Keyword likely to start because they could always change, and Ben Bishop and Marc-Andre Fleury. So, look, these are guys that are stingy. I mean, we saw it the other night even with the game against New Jersey where literally both teams combined to score 2 goals somehow in some way. And Dallas is just on its own level at home, no matter who is the coach. And with that, you can't expect a ton of goals tonight. Maybe 4 or 5, the max. Favorite DFS played for tonight absolutely is actually going contrarian a little bit from this Dallas Vegas game. And going with Max Pacioretty, who's arguably been the hottest winger in the last 5 games amongst all NHL forwards. So he is definitely worth a shot. Has 16 shots in his last 3 games as well.
Second and final game on the slate, New Jersey at Colorado, over under 6.5. Please talk to me.
Rough. This is the rough one of the night. Nobody really seems to know how this is going to go. New Jersey can either be somewhat defensively stout or completely give up 4 or 5 goals in the first period. So with this, I'm actually going to lean to the over tonight, even though it is at 6.5. And this is because I do think New Jersey is going to find a way to score some goals. Cale Makar is out for Colorado tonight, which really opens things up a lot for DFS plays. Matter of fact, you're going to find some value on both sides here on defense, and that's where we're going because, look, Nathan McKinnon and the entire first line is going to be ridiculously owned, like 30, 40, 50% owned or more tonight. So what we're going to do is offer you not one but 2 picks tonight from each side on defense that could provide you some value. One is Ian Cole from the Colorado Avalanche. He's moved up because of, again, the Makar injury, and will definitely exceed peripherals and value tonight. He's a 3-block and sometimes 2-shot per game type of player. And another one from New Jersey is David Severson, who's only 2,900 on DraftKings tonight. If you're going to take a shot on defensemen, this is probably your night and your place because New Jersey defensemen are vastly underpriced. And honestly, so are Colorado's.
All right, that's it, my dude. Quick and dirty. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Rams-Cowboys showdown picks with Reed and Jeff for next, right after Pat Mayo dishes on mid-range wide receivers this week.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Christian Kirk a lot this year. The targets are steady. Kyler is okay, I guess. I'm not a big fan, but at home against Cleveland. What about, and I never played this guy, he made an absurd catch last week. Any love for McLaurin?
Well, let's bring back in show producer Paul Shaughnessy to tell us all about. We've been trying to find a nickname for Terry McLaurin all year, Ben.
Absolutely.
You know what he is? He has high T.
High T.
So
I like it.
Let's hear it, Paul.
I mean, he runs like a 4.3. I think he ran like a 4.35 at like the combine. Like the Eagles can't cover super athletic wide receivers. Slayton absolutely torched them on Monday night. Like this has been a thing that happens all season. Sometimes it's like, oh, maybe they've fixed their secondary, but it's like if you get a supreme athlete, which McLaurin is, like he's gonna eat their lunch. I'm actually considering stacking him with Dwayne Haskins, which is like super high T.
There you have it. It's good reasoning. My biggest fear is that Haskins can't hit him when he's open.
Yeah, that's a legitimate concern. But it is true that like the Tyreek Hill prototype receiver against the Eagles secondary to me could go absolutely nuclear.
So are you going to use him? Or do you have enough T in your system to use Terry McLaurin?
I think I do struggle from low T, but I'm going to try to boost that with Terry McLaurin here and see what we can do.
I like it. I like it a lot. So the injury guys you could potentially go to, they're all kind of in the $4,000 area. If Albert Wilson and Devontae Parker both sit in this game, Alan Hearns is just sitting there at $4,700. So you could use him, or you could use that other guy that they were real keen on using. No, that's not his name.
Isaiah Ford,
$3,700. Any interest in those two? Because I keep gravitating towards these Dolphins. I'm going back to Fitzpatrick this week.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, ironic. I don't know if it's ironic. Albert Wilson was on important teams of mine, and he was injured immediately. I didn't even realize that till it was too late. Yeah, Hearns is there. Isaiah Ford, I don't know. I believe that's a former Hokie. Was that guy on the Bills, or is that a different guy?
No, I think it's a different guy. I think you're thinking of Isaiah. I think you're thinking of Isaiah McKenzie, who's still on the Bills.
Well, you win some, you lose some, but someone is going to be catching. We know that Fitz has to throw the ball, 9 targets. It's really just a pecking order of who's available because Laird is going to take some of this. I think we all know that.
Yeah, and Laird is probably the superior play of all these guys.
Probably.
DJ Chark is still in a walking boot. The Jags are 6.5-point dogs, like we pointed out, against the Raiders. So someone should feasibly be getting these targets. Not going to all be Leonard Fournette. So you have D.D. Westbrook, and D.D. Westbrook is $4,600. Then you have Chris Conley. Chris Conley is $3,600. And that should lead to a boost in playing time for Keelan Cole, who is the minimum any of those three guys do it for you?
I'm always a DD Westbrook guy. The targets will be there. Works out of the slot, can be effective. Touchdown upside, I mean, he's only got 2 on the year, and I assume they're sticking with Minshew. It's bad right now, but I still, at these price tags, will be willing to go to him if I'm in a jam.
Keelan Cole, not so much this year, but at least over the past few, has been like their high ADOT guy, that if they're going to take shots down the field, he's the one who's going to do it. He's going to find himself on the field way more than usual now.
An early Christmas gift to all of you watching. This is the final block of the show, and our NFL panel is here to celebrate. DraftKings contributors Reed T. Fowler here in studio, about 10 feet from myself, and Jeff Rolwark. He is about 5,000 miles away from us somewhere on this planet. Guys, you can go showdown mode for every individual game on Sunday's slate, all 14 of them. So we're picking the Rams and Cowboys one to discuss right now. Fowler, your captain pick. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be
share with me, bud.
You have to. It's Cooper Kupp. This guy saw 19 snaps last week, so that's kind of scary when you have a guy that potentially won't play. When you get that 1.5 bonus, and you have to pay up. But look, that's where Dallas is a little deficient on defense, is against the slot receivers. We've seen guys like Cole Beasley do well. Jordan Lewis is the guy that's going to be in that slot defensive position. He's given up, I believe, a 75% catch rate, a couple of touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, $12,000, and my captain spot.
In your captain spot, Jeffrey, spill the beans.
I've been way too nice to Reed lately. I know it's Christmas and all, but Cooper Kupp playing like 30% of the snaps. Go early. He's getting the ball. That's the reason Cooper Kupp is off the field, because the Rams want to run the ball. Bring in Josh Reynolds, Tyler Higbee. They're getting it going. I mean, Todd Gurley has basically moved into that role that he was in last year, which is basically, a bell cow role. Yeah, sure, he might cede a few snaps to Malcolm Brown, but this is a pretty good matchup. I mean, the Cowboys are giving up the 6th most receptions to opposing running backs. This game has a huge potential to shoot out, and you got to figure if the Rams are going to put points on the board. Gurley's finding the end zone at least once. 49.5 point total, really close point spread. Give me Todd Gurley and captain.
All right, who are you stacking with Cooper Kupp, Reed?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, also, you laid out the good points of what I was going to say about Todd Gurley, because I'm stacking with it. Like, we now see that Sean McVay potentially being smarter than what he was early in the season, holding back Todd Gurley, and that's why you like him in this spot. Again, yes, you can get him in that captain spot and get that 1.5 bonus, but he also has a floor of what we've seen. Recently, over the last about month or so, he's been fantastic. He's seeing the bulk of the carries in the backfield, about 78% of those, and he's seeing all the targets. That's what we like. And we know now that Todd Gurley is the engine that makes this entire machine run, the play-action pass. That is what Sean McVay does extremely well. That's why I like Cooper Kupp getting back into the correlations between the two. When both do well, are high. It's not like when Gurley does well, then all the receivers don't. Cooper Kupp is that safety blanket for Goff, but you got to hand the ball off. You have to be successful in that backfield. So I like Gurley in that stack.
Okay, so are you stacking Kupp with Gurley then, Jeff?
Absolutely not. I'm not a fool. Look, I'm going to go with Dak Prescott. You got to play Dak when he's at home. I mean, you just have to. He's averaging 28.1 points in 6 home games this year inside the Jerry Dome, 350 passing yards. I like paying down from in the flex spot, though, as opposed to captain, because he's pretty expensive. I mean, he's still 11K just as a flex. So if you stack Gurley, you got to figure you're thinking the Rams are going to put points on the board, running the ball, and then you come back. You figure the Cowboys are going to answer with Dak, maybe Amari Cooper, maybe Michael Gallup, and you can probably stack Cooper and Prescott in your flexes when you're captaining Gurley, because he saves you a little bit of salary. So I think Dak is a must play in this game. Like I said, I really do feel like this is going to be a high scoring game. 2 offenses inside a dome that can go off. Dak Prescott, I definitely want a piece of.
Reed, I see your value play here, and then I see Blake, and all I can think about is Blake Bortles, but that's not the guy. It's not the boat.
I wish he was a value play in this game.
Right? Me too, bud.
Wow, we need Blake Bortles back. The
We
NFL
do.
is better with the Bort coin back in a starting position. But look, with Dak, I get it, but the Rams defense outside of Lamar Jackson game, where they let up a trillion touchdowns like every defense to Lamar Jackson, they've been pretty good. But I do like one of his pass catchers, Blake Jarwin, at 2K. It's a split. We've seen Jason Witten and now Jarwin split, but over the last few weeks, what we've seen is Jarwin, he's getting those targets. And against the Rams, if you're trying to find a spot to attack this, you're not going to attack potentially the sides there with Jalen Ramsey and those corners and those safeties like Taylor Rapp doing extremely well. Blake Jarwin is seeing those targets, and that's where you have to attack this defense. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and if you don't want to pay up for those for those Mari Coopers, who might get shadowed by Jalen Ramsey, getting a pass catcher like Jarwin at $2,000 is the way to go.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'll throw Reed a bone here. I do like the Blake Jarwin take. He's clearly more athletic than Jason Witten at this point in his career. Capable of like a 40-yard touchdown or something. I'm going to go even lower. I'm going to go Josh Reynolds. There's a reason why I don't like Cooper Kupp is Josh Reynolds is actually playing. He's playing 60% of the snaps last week. And the reason he's playing is he's a better blocker. Like I said, this is a scheme change by Sean McVay, and it's directed at getting Todd Gurley going, just getting the offense going. And it's worked. So I don't expect them to go away from it. I expect Josh Reynolds to play over 50% of the snaps in this game. When you can get a receiver in showdown that's only 1,000, that's going to be on the field in over 50% of the snaps, playing in a good offense that's been rolling the last couple weeks, I think you got to go with them. I know he didn't do anything last week, but the weeks before he was getting targets. I expect he'll see a couple in this game too. I do expect it'll be close, just like the point spread says it's going to be. Yeah, I think Josh Reynolds is a really good value at 1K.
He's fading, Fowler.
Michael Gallup, he's one of the safer wide receiver twos, not just in fantasy football, but on any team in real football. But when you just look at this matchup, and especially the Rams and the cornerbacks, like I said, outside of that Ravens game, they've been very good. They've only allowed, I think, just over 6 touchdowns over the last dozen games or so to opposing wide receivers. And so that's going to be extremely tough. They've tightened up that backside in terms of what you're looking at against opposing offenses. And we've seen Cooper be banged up, and we've seen Gallup in good spots. But in this matchup, I don't trust it at $7,400. It's a little bit too expensive and a little bit too much inconsistency for a guy like Gallup.
Fade someone for me, Jeff.
Cooper Kupp, like I said off the top, I mean, he's just not playing as much anymore. You're still paying for like a wide receiver one, which, when a guy is only playing 30, 50%, even 60% of the snaps, not really wide receiver one anymore. Obviously Cooper Kupp could go off. I mean, if they throw him like 10 targets when he's on the field, if he's throwing him every time he's on the field, he's still going to go off. But I just feel like this matchup, I mean, I love the Gurley play. I feel like you can go value with the Rams wide receivers. I just don't think you have to pay up for Cooper Kupp. And on a slate too, like a showdown slate with so many good, expensive options, I think you got to fade the guy who's seeing his playing time count right now. So I'm fading Kupp.
All right, guys, that's the show. You got any big plans this weekend, Jeff?
I'm going to be watching President's Cup the next 2 nights for sure. It's getting exciting.
Yeah, maybe Tiger will be smart enough not to put Patrick Reed in there, huh?
He's winning this match.
He's already out there for the next match. So yeah. I don't know, but this Webb Simpson Patrick Reed pairing might be the downfall of the Americans because they're sticking with it, do or dies.
Yeah.
Where's Finau? Come on, Finau. Pick it up.
Oh God, take a cold shower, feller.
I know, I need to.
Okay, that is a show, though. You guys enjoy your weekend. Enjoy all the golf. We'll see y'all back here 11:30 Sunday morning, hour and a half of the sweat, all football, all the time. Peace.